What's up, YouTube? Robert the Monster Among Marks Drap here, and we're back again, me and my good friend and tag team partner Sierra, for another week of WWE News and Rumors. Buckle up, this is gonna get rough. How we doing?
It's been a day. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God WWE is starting to focus on SmackDown 1000 so I can find out what I'm going to experience.
Amen.
I'm sure everybody got that notification about an hour and a half ago.
Oh yeah, probably. I'm trying to sift through all of my news and rumors with Cage Side Seats, Bleacher Report, and I forget what. Oh, Wrestling Inc. Let's start with something that doesn't matter at all because it's not surprising, really. Aerolucha CEO Jason Brown says Rey Mysterio will retain ownership in the company even after signing with the WWE. Personally, like I said, this isn't a super big issue, but I'm actually surprised that I'm actually not even really that surprised that WWE doesn't give a shit about Aerolucha, because I don't even know what Aerolucha is, but it's a thing.
I think it's partnership with Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
Don't quote me.
I need to seriously get into that myself, but that's because I hear
just don't have enough time in the day.
Yeah, right. I hear Pentagon Dark is amazing. But
yes.
Let's move on to something a little more meaty, something a little more interesting, which will lead us into two stories here, reported by a couple various outlets. Cage Side Seats notes Undertaker is almost certainly working Survivor Series this year. PW Insider points out that he's been announced for an autograph signing in the same city the night before. Whereas both WrestlingInc.com and Bleacher Report are reporting that Shawn Michaels will likely wrestle again, and not just in Saudi Arabia, at WWE Crown Jewel, where he will have a tag team match with his brother from D-Generation X, Triple H, against the Brothers of Destruction. It is likely that Shawn Michaels will not only face the Dead Man with his brother, but will then use that as a launching point to set up for his Survivor Series match against the Dead Man. Personally, I gotta say it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love The Undertaker, love Shawn Michaels. They're both amazing. But they need to ride off into the sunset. It's time for them to go. I don't think we should be asking, as fans, for any more than what they've done.
Look, and I completely agree with you. It is the changing of the guard in a sense, with this final storyline feud of the old era. I mean, if they think they can do one more match, let them do one more match, but within reasons. Again, Taker's had surgery. Shawn's getting old.
Like I said, I don't really know how much more they have left in the tank, and I'm not one to deny a man his fondest wish, but I think that if they want to do this, it shouldn't. Like, Shawn's first match since WrestleMania 26 should not be a glorified, high glamour, crowd-pleasing fucking house show. Because that's what Crown Jewel was. That's what the Greatest Royal Rumble was. A 6-hour house show.
Mean,
in a land that they've never done it before.
No, the only place we do glorified house shows is Saudi Arabia, apparently.
Hey, they got the money for it.
No, but so I understand your concerns with having him wrestle at a glorified house show. The issue is it's not a house show because it is televised. So he is still going to be wrestling in front of however many people that arena can hold, which is a lot.
Oh yeah.
Plus everyone who subscribed to the network, plus everyone who watches the YouTube highlights, plus everyone who streams it from a questionable media source. So I
No.
really just I don't have an issue with him having his matches at these special shows.
Okay. I mean, I can't say that I'm a saint and wouldn't, you know, that I'm not kind of frothing at the mouth waiting for HBK to take on the Dead Man. It really seems like that's a thing we should do, is see that, because it's one of those matches we've been dream booking for a while. But here's the thing. Personally, the reason I wouldn't want to see Shawn Michaels take on the Undertaker is because I'd much rather see Shawn Michaels take on AJ Styles. A match between Shawn Michaels as a passing of the torch from him to AJ would solidify AJ as a legend forever.
I don't think you need that match to solidify AJ as a legend. I think you're completely wrong on that sense.
I mean,
I don't think that a match between AJ Styles. No, you've talked for a little bit. Let me talk now. I don't think an AJ Styles HBK match really would solidify nor be a passing of the torch moment. It'd just be a dream match. It's something AJ has wanted for a while. We saw the rumored poster for, I believe it was Royal Rumble in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in the works for a while. We're gonna see it probably eventually. Don't rush into it though. You guys, everybody wants to see these dream matches, but nobody wants to work for the build.
I don't have a problem working for the build, and I will I will pitch my flag here and die on this hill. Yes, AJ Styles deserves and does kind of need a passing of the torch match for one reason.
Why? He's done so well since
it is because he's done that well. To have that moment.
That's that success.
To have that moment where a legend like HBK, who is in phenomenal shape, can probably run circles around Mark Calloway's body at the moment, just because he hasn't done as much since he left. And to have him go into the ring with an absolute virtuoso of a technician like AJ Styles and put on what I would say would be a showstopper. Doesn't matter what you put it on, it's a showstopper. It would prove to all the, not just the people who have watched from way back in the day, but also show forward that Vince cares about the younger talent. That Vince wants that.
I think you need to take Vince's name out of that equation right now, because I think Vince McMahon has nothing to do with this. I think this is all Triple H. I don't think that we need to have a passing of the torch match. I don't agree with most of what you said, unfortunately. Because Styles, I don't think the passing of the torch matches never go the way we want it to do. We want it to go. Taker was supposed to pass the torch to Wyatt. That didn't happen.
That's because they lost confidence in that
on
gimmick.
NXT TV about the crowd chanting one more match and him saying, I can't keep up with this generation of wrestlers. He's also been out of the ring for 9+ years. You think there's something called ring rust? I don't think, no matter how fit he is going to take into account how long he's been out of the ring. I think we are putting our expectations way too high. I think it's going to be a good match eventually when we get it, but I think that we're setting the bar a little bit too high here.
On the flip side of that coin, though, you say there's probably a lot of ring rust. I actually argue that there's less than you'd think that there be, because he has been down at the Performance Center, because he has been doing things to help the guys that are coming in to learn the style of WWE. I think that while, yes, he's not in the same kind of shape that he was, say, 8, 9 years ago, he's still going to be in decent shape for the ring because he's had to step in and show these rookies, hey, this is how you do these things.
Okay,
This is
but
how
training
you
and
execute
performing
it.
aren't the same thing.
No, but it's at
Also,
least
we could
a segment of choice of similarity. But you were saying we could.
argue about this all night long. How about we move on to something else?
All right. Well, let's see here. I'm not going to talk about that story because that's for you. I know you'll hate me if I start talking about that one.
No, you can go ahead and talk.
No. If I start talking about Neville, you're gonna just gonna go, okay, I'm taking over because this is my
No,
boy,
go ahead.
my king of the cruiserweights. I wanna let you have that
Go
one
ahead.
because I took
Go ahead.
Shawn Michaels.
I didn't call Shawn Michaels.
No, I did. It's been let's speaking of difficulties, let's talk about the week Brie Bella has fucking had. Oh my god.
How about the return Brie Bella has had?
She's had and I think that's kind of to play into what we're talking about here. On Monday night's Raw, she was executing the yes kicks and accidentally kicked Liv Morgan so hard in the face that she was knocked out for a few moments, and it even led to some suspicions about how said interaction was received backstage. Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful reported that while there, quote, doesn't appear to be any bad blood between Brie and Liv Morgan, the latter's Riot Squad colleagues were apparently less satisfied with the situation. The report added that, quote, Sarah Logan and Ruby Riot looked to be unhappy as though they're legitimately close friends of Liv Morgan's. Personally,
as though I think they are all legitimate close friends, considering how often I see each other on their Snap stories.
Yeah, I mean,
they travel together all the time.
I'm pretty sure that they're all really good friends, and
again, nobody wants to see somebody get hurt, and Brie Bella did apologize about it on Twitter, and
I think that she was being genuine.
She's had a rough. I think she's been genuine too, because nobody actually wants to hurt somebody unless you're Sexy Star.
Wow! Just reach in the bag and pull it out. Let's go.
Brie Bella's return has been very lackluster in my opinion. Nikki has done well. Brie has not impressed in my opinion. She was very much just the sidekick for Daniel Bryan for their mixed match challenge, or their mixed tag challenge, because let's face it, the women really hindered that match.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you there. And personally, there's been a few spots that I argue has actually hindered both women in maybe getting back into good shape, because they've tried to play into the angle that both women have ring rust from not competing for so long, and that certain moves they messed up because they're not on that same competitive level.
I didn't catch that.
Well, there has been a couple times, like when I think it was either Brie or Nikki trying to do the mid-rope suicida, and they'd mess up.
That would be Brie, because she snapped Sonya Deville's freaking neck.
Yeah, and
speaking of really rough, go ahead.
I was going to say, that being said, when you try to make it look like you're messing up, it increases the odds that you actually fucking will. So if they had just...
A mess up is a mess up, whether it's intentional or not.
This is true. I think they should have just not played into that angle at all and let these women work through it. And I hope that they get better immediately.
Well, I'm sure Liv will be out for another week, because speaking of, I'm going to my trainer's corner, because that's the only place I'm allowed to talk.
Oh!
Joking. But speaking of Liv Morgan, she did suffer a concussion from that spot. She'll be going under the concussion surveillance. It's a good possibility we won't see her in the ring next week.
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, it's really sad that we won't see Liv on the air for a little while. I mean, she's actually very, very talented, and I do like seeing the Riot Squad in the ring with the way that they play. A lot of their angles, and this whole thing leading up to Super Showdown is going to be in the very least interesting to see what happens from here.
You know they're gonna end up using that concussion as an angle in the feud.
Oh yeah, everything gets
just
used
to hype up everything else. But let me just quickly go over all of these injuries I have because I just did a general update of all of my patients. Why am I getting my ass kicked?
Not you. I'm sorry.
Stop
ladies,
talking to the inanimate object I can't see.
I'm sorry. The husband wasn't the husband went over to the fridge to get a little snack, and his friends on Destiny decided they were going to start an instance, and he wasn't paying attention, so he didn't know that he was getting his ass kicked. I'm like, you're getting your ass kicked over there.
Okay, but going back to my injury update, I have a general checklist over all of my patients.
Go for it.
Let's start off with someone who's been cleared. The Big Show has been cleared to return. This is following complications following a hip surgery. It does not seem that WWE has any apparent plans for Big Show on TV, although it would be nice to see him at SmackDown 1000 because Big Show has been such a big name of SmackDown.
Agreed. I mean, personally, I just to throw a little thing I wasn't going to. Wrestling Observer Newsletter does note that Big Show is now an ambassador role for WWE, as they don't have any plans for him anytime soon.
Okay, Maria Kanellis is still on maternity leave. How come Maurice came back after 5 months, but Maria, who gave birth in April, is not back yet?
Maybe because she doesn't want to and they don't have any plans for her?
Well, maybe have her do something, it would have been nice to have her come back with the Mixed Match Challenge with her husband.
Is he back? I thought he was still in rehab.
He was on TV a couple weeks ago with the Heels that attacked the Shield.
I completely missed it.
I even asked, and I was confirmed it later. Alexa Bliss is still on light workload from her arm injury on September 17th. Sasha Banks is still out due to an undisclosed injury. There is not a return set for that. I've already mentioned that Morgan suffered the concussion on Monday. Samir Singh is in the final stages of an ACL recovery. He is expected to be cleared by the end of September, early October.
Yeah.
Fandango is still out with a left labrum tear. He is expected to have a 2019 return. Sami Zayn is expected to have a WrestleMania 2019 return. Mm-hmm. And Goldust is recovering from a double knee surgery and states that he is nearing the end of his career.
Yeah, I mean...
on Smack... Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see, before he leaves, some sort of montage for both the Rhodes children.
They're not going to do anything with Cody until he comes back to WWE.
Hell. Do it anyway. Get him back.
They physically can't. They don't own the name Cody Rhodes.
That's right. He fought for it.
Well, it's also his name. It's Cody Runnels, but moving on to SmackDown Live, though, because there's a couple people there, too. Tamina is still out with her shoulder injury. She's expected to return October, November of this year. Mm-hmm. Eric Rowan is still out with the right bicep tear, and he is expected to return spring 2019. Mm-hmm. That's all I have on my injury update corner. I would potentially since I didn't get to talk about NXT in my injury update, because we all know Aleister Black is still out with the groin injury and Bobby Fish is still out with the knee. Mm-hmm. Matt Riddle debuted on NXT Live this week. He debuted on September 21st and won against Fabian Eichner. Did not realize he was going with the Rusev thing of not wearing shoes.
Wow.
He was impressive, though, based on the clips I saw.
I guess I gotta go dig and find that, because I wouldn't mind seeing it.
I have 3 more stories. What do you have?
I've got, let's see, on that one, let's talk about the Young Bucks, shall we? Let's just let's completely transition away from WWE for a little while, because we were just talking about Cody Rhodes. Per the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the Young Bucks, who are currently the IWGP Tag Team Champions, are not scheduled to appear in the upcoming New Japan Tag Team Tournament, though it is noted that they may appear during the final show. Now,
as the champions, would they be in the tournament? Don't they treat the tag team tournament kind of like the Dusty Rhodes Classic? Whoever wins it gets a chance at the tag team titles.
Well, and I mean, that's not necessarily wrong, in the sense that, yes, they should not compete in the tournament, but having them there to kind of build a storyline with maybe one or two of the other tag teams could at least benefit said championship. While I have a cat.
They don't need to benefit that championship anymore. The Young Bucks are holding that championship. That championship is over.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, but it's always good to have a good rival. As
they have plenty of good rivals. Trust me. I am fine with not seeing the Young Bucks in the tournament, because it gives all the other teams a chance to highlight all of their stuff without me having to hear, as much as I love Bullet Club, wearing Bullet Club, is without having to hear Bullet Club chants the entire tournament.
I mean, you're not wrong. Speaking of the Young Bucks, along with Cody Reynolds, apparently they're working on an All-In DVD. Now, I actually will probably go out and buy said DVD when it becomes available.
This is supposed to be like, from beginning to end, the making of All In, every hurdle that they reached along the way, and I think it's supposed to include on another disc the actual All In pay-per-view.
Yeah, I would be completely 100% okay with this. Again,
speaking of, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know what? I had to. Let's go on ahead and throw it back over to you.
Speaking of, ex WWE wrestlers and non-WWE wrestlers, Neville has gone off the grid again.
Wow.
After it was officially announced that he was released from his contract with WWE, it was said that many promoters were trying to get a hold of him, and he had stated that he wasn't looking for bookings at this point in time. But now this week, he has completely stopped responding to all indie promoters, including New Japan Pro Wrestling. So a little question, Neville, what are you doing? Let's get back in the ring. I missed my King of the Cruiserweights. Even though you're not a King of the Cruiserweights anymore, I'll still wear that shirt forever.
I mean, you're not wrong. I would love to see him come back. It's gonna be something to see, and I again, wish him the best of luck. Can't wait to see him come back.
How many more stories do you have?
I am looking at about 3.
Okay, so I have 2. That's okay. Perfect.
Speaking of New Japan, Chris Jericho's return to New Japan is expected to come at November's Power Struggle show, where Evil will get an Intercontinental title shot. I know nothing of the gimmick Evil, but I can't wait to see it. Yes, your amazing Funko Pop.
I'm just going to keep it on screen for this entire news report.
I mean, you may have a Funko Pop, but you don't have a kitten. Who's sitting here?
You know what I have to say to that?
I am so screwed, but not as screwed as apparently one fan in maybe as a fan in who attended Raw in Denver. He
Wait, you're doing
claims.
two at once.
All right, fine. I'll hold on
No,
to.
go ahead. Go ahead.
All
I'll
right,
end it with Milwaukee, but
that should be the end of the show, right? Should be amazing. Apparently, stadium security confiscated his Roman sucks sign. I mean, it's not unheard of to see a fan lose a sign that they take in with them, but damn, I always hate hearing it.
you don't need a sign that says Roman sucks. Just start chanting it, and half of the arena will do it too.
I mean, you're being generous, saying that they wouldn't be mean to him and it'd be 3/4.
Look, man, I was at the Battleground 2016 pay-per-view, and the entire arena started chanting Roman sucks because it was his first match back from his drug suspension.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a great night. Maybe I should move on. Should we? Do you have anything else to add to our poor fan getting his sign confiscated?
I think that if you're going to go to a show, I think that especially in this day and age where a lot of people purchase their tickets online, there should be like a checklist of things, like no obscenities, don't do this on your sign, don't have images that depict this on your sign. For those people like myself who may not understand exactly what would be permitted and would not. Now, that being said, I also understand the position of the people at the arena. I myself have a good bit of leniency when it comes to the specifics of my job. Like, I can make a call, and more often than not, my supervisors will back me up on it. So it's very much sometimes who you get and the other half of what you're doing to get there. So having that
I think people should just be a little bit more respectful when they make their signs. I understand, like, you don't have to confiscate a Roman sucks thing, but he is the most polarizing figure on WWE. He is supposed to be the next big baby face.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really want to be selling Roman sucks as their baby face. Kind of like how the Boo the Woo sign that at Kimber last kick brought to
SmackDown.
What was the most recent pay-per-view? No, it was pay-per-view.
Oh, she was at the pay-per-view? Oh.
She's at everything.
I want to say because she beat Charlotte.
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it was Hell in a Cell. Yeah, we went over that.
They confiscated like half of her signs, but it's just, I think it's all based on the arena. You know, some people are a little more lenient, and some people are a little more strict. Moving on, since we spoke about one member of one of the most dominant factions of the reality era, how about we move on to a faction that has been announced that they will be making their reunification. That's not how I was supposed to say it. They will be reuniting at SmackDown 1000, and that is Evolution. This comes after, so WWE officially announced this like 2 hours ago. I was at dinner and I actually interrupted my mother with a squeal because I was so excited. But this comes after Batista had said that he was not invited to SmackDown 1000, which is being held in DC, which is his hometown. He's actually from Alexandria, but it's literally 5 minutes away.
I mean, I don't think anybody would notice the difference. I keep having to tell people I'm from Houston, even though I'm half an hour north.
Oh yeah, it's like telling people I'm from DC and I'm like 20 minutes south.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Do you have one more story for us?
I do. Apparently, Twitter user at BeltFanDan reports WWE did commission designs for for Cruiserweight Tag Team Championship belts, but they've been, quote, completely scrapped because of how 205 Live is doing.
205 is doing actually relatively well, thank you very much, compared to the ratings it had at this point last year. Yeah, I'll take this 205 over that 205.
I mean, let's also throw in attendance from Raw and ratings for Raw, which are down to probably the lowest point they've been in months. And also, I wasn't going to put this in there, but this can now go hand in hand with this. Apparently, attendance at Tuesday's SmackDown Live was not great. There were said to be a lot of empty seats on the hard camera side of the Pepsi Center, but WWE officials are reportedly not concerned about this.
Of course they're not concerned. They're about to make a whole bunch of money off of Super Showdown, SmackDown 1000, Evolution, the amount of merch sales they get at every show, the amount of merch sales they get online, the amount of people that subscribe to the network. Them not having a good attendance at one show is not going to break the bank.
That and let's also put it in the context of they're coming up on SmackDown 1000. They do not give a... No, you didn't.
I did. I said SmackDown 1000 after Super Showdown.
I mean, they do not
You think I would forget the event I'm going to?
I mean, it's been a long day. I've got a massive migraine, and I've got a cat who's decided she wants to chew on me.
Continue my pterodactyl screeching.
Please do. I'll mute you when you do it. I have not actually muted her yet. She's not actually talking. I fucking promise you guys. That takes a few more key presses that I'm willing to do right now. I can prove I'm not muting her. I can prove it. Hang on.
Oh, that was me.
See, I didn't do it.
All right, I think we should go ahead and get on to our last news story of the night, and all I have to say is Milwaukee.
Oh God.
So
this is like the Rock and Pie.
Stop it. Don't give away anything. So a lot of people have begun to rumor what the night in Milwaukee truly was. I know during our SmackDown episode, you mentioned Enzo Amore.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it, but
you were close. You were not really close. You were close timeline-wise because this is the last time we saw the gent.
Wow, that's a weird word.
If you look back to the January 25th episode of 2016 Raw, this was The Rock's big return to Raw, and in that there was a promo where The Rock said that Lana taught him the Wisconsin wheelbarrow, which Milwaukee is in Wisconsin, people, geography. And it started a rumor of a sex tape allegation. Lana was quick to respond, saying, basically shutting everybody down, and in short terms, it's not okay to slut shame.
I mean, it's not.
If they're going to take the Rock angle, it's because they're trying to find a way to get him onto SmackDown 1000. Which I'm okay with. Let me see The Rock. I've got Evolution. I've got Undertaker. I'm sure I'm going to see HBK.
Yeah. Completely fine with seeing the Great One once again on his brand. That's just a blanket. Oh, I'm okay with this. B, I didn't know before we started this story, just to be completely transparent, that that's where we were going. I just made that statement off the cuff, out of nowhere, because that's the first thing. Like, hey, do you know what happened in Milwaukee? And it's like, The Rock would always walk up to motherfuckers and say, or would walk up to women and go, do you like pie? And it's like, this is some bullshit. What are you even doing, dude? It doesn't make any sense to me why you keep doing this. Because I was like 14.
I think it's hilarious that you were able to figure out
what
I was talking about before I was able to even talk about it.
Fucking no-scoped it.
Clairvoyance thing.
Fucking no-scoped it. This is great.
I'm gonna have to start, like, making tallies of all of your psychic moments.
Yeah, just you know what? It might not hurt to get a few warding sigils. With that, I want to thank you all for watching this train wreck. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Oh, fuck yes, it was. Share all those wonderful things down below. Hit the bell for the notifications. I'm on Twitter at Rob's Random Roms. She's on Twitter at Heavy Metal Hippie. This show will respond to you at In Mosh Pit, and we will see you all Tuesday night for the Monday Night Raw review. Later.
And Super Showdown Go Home Show.
Later.
Bye.